Good evening, welcome to Central News for Tuesday the 10th of December. I'm Hilary Entwistle. Tourism Bay of Plenty has launched a new campaign titled Plenty for Everyone, which includes a TV commercial for the first time in almost a decade. The campaign is focusing on laid-back sophistication, where the sophistication will be aimed at the international market and the laid-back at the domestic. General Manager Rhys Arrowsmith says the idea of laid-back sophistication comes from the lifestyle of the Bay.
Laid-back sophistication is about this region being, again, you can dial up or dial down depending on what your preference is. 1 minute you can be just blobbing out on the beach, the next minute you can be going through some pretty special shopping environments in downtown Mount Maunganui or Whakatane or anywhere you want to be. You can dial up or dial down that depending on what you want to do. But also as an organisation we can dial that up or down depending on what market we're hitting. So if we're hitting the international market, we might dial up the sophistication. If we're aiming for the domestic market, we might dial it down more towards the domestic market, where they're coming here for, just to recuperate, where others are coming here to adventure. Conference, for instance, is a good example of that. Conferencing people are coming here for that sophistication. So we'll dial it up depending on what market we're targeting.
The 20th to the 21st of December marks SAFE's annual street appeal, as the organisation is financed solely through the goodwill of the community. For over 80 years, SAFE has been one of the strongest voices in New Zealand, defending animals against cruelty and abuse. SAFE volunteer Sandra Kyle says the street appeal is extremely important to the cause, and collectors will be on streets all over our regions, helping to support the fight against animal cruelty.
We can't make a difference for the animals without our volunteers, and we need funding for our year's advocacy, so it's really important that we have lots of volunteers out there on Friday the 20th and Saturday the 21st collecting for the animals.
Now for our region's weather, Wednesday for you Hamilton looks like it will be mainly fine with a westerly breeze. Your expected high is 21 and an overnight low of 10. Tauranga mostly sunny with a westerly breeze too. Your expected high is 24 and an overnight low of 14. Just ahead, Mount Vibes Festival and the predicted benefit to the Tauranga economy. Welcome to Central News on TV Central. Gone are the days of the Mount New Year's riots due to council planning and more policing, creating a more family-friendly atmosphere. But for those wanting a party and to see the new year in with a big bang, there is a festival planned just down the road at Bay Park. The organisers have planned with the council to create a safe R18 event that is being tipped to be a huge success, with many big names in New Zealand music headlining the event.
We've got a pretty stellar lineup. We've got the Black Seeds, Blacklist, I Am Giant, Sons of Zion, Tomorrow People. We've got a Radnor, Homebrew and Soldier, Swiss, Peter T, Deitch, State of Mind, Optimus Grime, and Cara Gordon. And we've got a few local acts. We've got Catchy, Vega from the Mount, and Regan Perry as well.
Why do you think that the Mount needs an event like this?
They haven't really seen anything of the size in the Mount apart from Exodus, and Exodus has stopped this year, plus Coromandel Gold's not happening. So we just saw that there was a need for this, and after talking we just thought, yeah, we'd go ahead with it, and next minute, yeah.
And Pato, the bands that you have coming are quite varied in their genre. Was that deliberate?
Yeah, well, it was something the Morgan just saying. You see, like Exodus was a reggae concert, it's not happening, and then we have Coromandel Gold that has so many genres of music as well. So we try to mix both of them in one place, and that's what we've done, So we take everything, like people that like rock, people that like reggae, dub, hip hop, R&B, dance. So we're trying to put everything into one venue, but in 2 stages. So you can sort of really mix everything in one place, So that's why we had 2 stages. So it's looking pretty good. It's looking pretty good.
How many people are you expecting? What's the capacity?
Well, this is always hard to say, but when we started this, we saw it was going to be like 6,000 people, but it's looking it's going to get bigger now. So I don't know, between 6,000 and 10,000 people, I guess. You know, ticket sales are doing really well, and yeah, there's nothing else around this side of the country, and yeah, we're pretty much the biggest party around here. So yeah, it's looking really good. 6,000 to 10,000 people will be this year. And if we get the numbers, next year we're going to be working to double it up. So obviously we're going to get internationals, and you know, we're going to need a bit more of time to make it even bigger next year, but we're on this.
And you actually have 2 stages, don't you?
Yeah, we got 2 stages. We got an outside stage, which is in the stadium, which is going to be the main stage. And then we have here on the Tech Arena is going to be the second stage. So yeah, we got a really good sound system, lighting, a stage. It's going to be like top quality. So yeah, people should be looking forward for this.
And Morgan, you guys are offering camping?
Yeah, we've got camping here, out where all the car parking is. So they've got the big concrete strips out the back, and along the sides is where they can put up their tents right through.
On the grass?
Yeah, on the grass, yeah. And yeah, we've sold probably 60% of camping already, so that's probably going to sell out.
It's quite different to other festivals where this is just one night. Why did you want to offer the camping then?
Mostly because the accommodation in the city, there's no accommodation over that New Year's Eve period, and at least if the event finishes, people don't have to worry about that. You haven't got people out on the streets going to other parties afterwards. There's the drink driving thing, you know, people get in their cars, booze, leaving here. So at least they've got somewhere to stay, and then at 8 o'clock in the morning then they can leave the venue. And yeah.
They can leave up to 12 though. You know, like up to 12 o'clock in the morning. It's not that people need to wake up at 8 o'clock and go,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And it's another cheap option as well. You know, it's pretty decent price for people to come and camping. So
For those who don't camp, are you going to offer buses and that kind of thing?
yeah, we got buses too. We got buses going from the venue to Papamoa, Greeton, Tauranga, and down the mount. So yeah, like the last thing that we want is people to drink and drive, because you know, like things that they can affect our event as well. Like it will look back to the community. So we're gonna make sure that everything is safe, and people come and have fun, and then go back home and you know what I mean, and be safe. So yeah.
How long have you been planning this? I mean, how did the idea come about?
Well,
It was his idea.
yeah, well, I always, like, I'm local from Tauranga, and I've been attending to all these big concerts for years, and I always say, like, the Mount is the best place to have this. Why is nothing happening? And yeah, it's always been in the back of my head, and as soon these 2 big festivals around this area got canceled, I took the chance. And yeah, I was with Morgan, and I was like, hey bro, I think I'm gonna jump on this idea. You're gonna jump on, and yeah, now we're here, and you can't get back, you know. So you know, it's pretty funny. You know, it all happened on over 2 or 3 days, and now we're here.
What are you going to do for safety at the event?
We'll have 180 security here, plus we'll have the police here as well, and it's all in a contained area. It's not like going to be down to the beach or spread out around the city. So yeah, we've followed all the procedures that they've wanted for the event, and we've done what they've told us, and yeah, we won't have any problems.
How do you think this will benefit the Mount? I mean, it's obviously it'll bring people in, but is it going to benefit the economically and the tourism trade and that?
Well, if you look at it this way, if they bring in, say we brought 8 to 10,000 people, say 10,000 people, they might come in 4s, you know, or whatever. So there could be up to 20 to 40,000 extra people coming to the Mount, and that just benefits everyone, businesses, and it's the best destination in New Zealand to come, and we just think that once people come here and see what's going on, it's right next door to the beach.
Not far from Auckland.
Not far from Auckland, yeah, you know, and yeah, we can just see economically it's going to be good for the community.
You can find out more at mountainvibes.co.nz. Coming up next, the positive side to road rage. Welcome back. The words road rage usually have negative connotations, but for an event to be held in Matamata this Friday, it has nothing to do with angry driving and everything to do with a positive initiative for youth. Joining me tonight in the studio is Emily Lawrence. Welcome to the program, Emily.
Thank you.
So tell us about this event, Road Rage.
Well, Road Rage is an event that Starfish and youth have been organising for youth at Matamata. We got some sponsorship from the Ministry of Youth Development to put in to provide an event for youth aged 12 to 24 in the Matamata-Piako district.
And so what is some of the entertainment that's going to be there?
We have a main stage that is going to be set up from 6 till 12, and we're going to have Aspire, the local dance group, lots and lots of local talent. We've got the latest Fallout, The Cause, a school DJ, and lots of other DJs. It's going to be a great night.
So you're actually shutting off part of the street?
Yep, Hatana Street's going to be shut off from Broadway to where it connects on after the public toilets.
Oh, wow. So it is going to be a rage on the road?
It is going to be a street party.
Nothing to do with actually angry driving?
No, hopefully not.
So also there's going to be skating in the dark?
There is going to be. We're having a midnight skate competition, which is going to be really exciting. We've got some sponsored skaters coming over from Hamilton and they're going to be judging. It's very exciting. And we're going to have run up all the practice rounds up until 12 and then the finals at 12 after main stage is finished. So we get to see all the skaters from Matamata and around the place showing their stuff.
So you guys have been working on this for quite a while and it is going to be an alcohol and drug-free event for youth. Why do you think that it's important that we do have these kind of drug and alcohol-free places for youth to go?
I think it's important because as it's from ages 12 to 24, it just provides an alternative in our town for people to go and have some fun and get to know everyone else.
Do you think there are enough alcohol and drug-free events?
I personally don't, and I think this is a very good opportunity for us to show what we can do and hopefully from this have more opportunities to carry on doing this cool kind of stuff in our community.
Do you think people will come along drunk anyway kind of thing and do that preloading that they talk about?
I hope not, but we have security precautions for that kind of thing.
Yeah, you kind of have to nowadays. So the Starfish Youth Action Group have organised this, and Starfish is a social services trust. So what's the Starfish Youth Action Group?
Well, the Youth Action Group has been made up of youth when Starfish came into our school, and a couple of year 13s from our school were like, yeah, we'd love to get involved in this. And we have been working with them and Ross Bay and everyone else who's involved to plan this awesome event.
So what do you guys do? You just get together every
Monday and we talk about what we're going to do and organise. We each have our own little section like advertising, entertainment. It's all coming together nicely for Friday.
So it's kind of like event management, doing volunteer work for
It's
event
so
management.
cool. We've had lots of opportunities in leadership, organisation, communication and all those skills we've grown through this, which is awesome.
And what else have you guys done throughout the year?
We've done lots of things. For this, we've talked to lots of people, planned all our bands. We had so many ideas at the start, it was kind of hard narrowing them all down to what we could actually fit. It was a big challenge.
Thank you for coming in tonight, Emily, and all the best with the Road Rage. Last week I caught up with one of the bands playing at the Road Rage, lead singer Brendan Pryor of the latest Fallout, to see why he thinks an alcohol and drug-free event is important. Welcome to the show, Brendan.
Hi.
So you are from Matamata. Do you always enjoy playing in your hometown?
It is pretty cool because then you get to see the people that you've seen for quite a while and they can see what you've actually been doing while you've been busy away because, yeah, we don't play here a lot, so it's pretty cool to come back.
So you can wave out to people in the crowd.
Yeah. Yeah.
And why do you think alcohol drug-free events like Road Rage are important?
I think it's pretty important because you see these people are coming to events and they're all together with people that are sort of monitoring them and they're not away doing alcohol and drugs somewhere else. So it's just really cool to know that they're there and like sort of a safe community and everyone's just having fun without they could be, off doing drugs and alcohol somewhere, or who knows what else. So it's that one night that you have like the tiniest bit of control. So it's pretty cool.
And when you are up there concentrating on your performance and that kind of thing, can you actually gauge the difference between a crowd that is, has got access to alcohol and one that doesn't?
I actually haven't had a crowd, of kids especially, that have been under the influence, and if I haven't not noticed it, then that's to me pretty horrible. But I think it's pretty bad. I wouldn't really like to play to kids that are drunk or stuff like that. So I used to be in a cover band, and we used to play in pubs and stuff, and people were drunk, and they were older and able to drink. So it's just like it's completely different, and they'd drop the alcohol in our fallbacks and stuff, and it'd be a bit annoying. But yeah, just I didn't drink until I was 18, so I just hope that other kids wouldn't. But learning now, a lot of people do, and it's just But no, I haven't noticed any kids that we played to that are sort of drunk, and I'm sure I'd do something about it if they were.
And again, I guess it's just a completely different atmosphere, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd feel real just weirded out by it, I think. Yeah.
The event is on this Friday, 13th of December, by the Eyesight in Matamata. Coming up next, the old Mount Phoenix car park is in for a transformation. If you have just joined us, welcome to Central News. The Phoenix car park in Monganui Road is said to be mostly empty for most of the year and jam-packed for the festive season. What to do with the car park has caused quite a stir amongst residents and the council. Bain McDonald tells us more.
The Phoenix car park's in the middle of the mount and was purchased by the council for car parking. Like a lot of councils in New Zealand at the moment, the Tauranga Council has some concerns about its financial position, so they've been auditing their portfolio of land and assets to look for ways that they might be able to reduce debt. One of the options that they had was to sell the Phoenix car park for redevelopment, and that process was ongoing. In parallel to that, I've been talking to them about a fund that they have for reserves, and in the Mount North area, which is intensively developed, they had very few options, and so I suggested to them that they could apply the fund that they had for reserves in the Mount North to the Phoenix car park. So instead of selling it for buildings, it could be retained as an open place for the people. Those two options went before council, and as it turns out, the development option didn't meet the resolution to reduce debt anyway. So it wasn't a great deal for the people, for the ratepayers. The option of retaining it as a park and using the fund achieves the debt reduction as well as keeps it in the ratepayers' ownership. So the council have now voted on that, and they've decided to pursue the park option, and that will go into the annual plan for 2014.
So how is it being funded?
The way that councils generally collect money when developments occur are done by what that can be phrased in lots of different ways. Reserve contributions is one that most people will have heard, but financial contributions or development contributions is another. Generally what happens is, in a very simple format, if someone subdivides their property into two sections, then they create a new house lot, and the council needs to provide water and sewerage and roads and things like that for that, and they charge the person that's doing it rather than charging ratepayers to provide it, and that's all about keeping rates where they low like they should be, and charging. It's a user pays type concept. So one of the things that they do is, as part of that regime of fees for new development, is they charge for reserves. And the idea is that if you create more houses or buildings and intensify the use in an area, that people lose amenity, so the existing residents lose amenity. So the way that they offset that is by taking money a little bit at a time and building a fund where then the council can go and create open space by buying land. And that's generally how parks are funded, and drainage reserves and pipes and roads and everything. So in this case, the Tauranga Council has been building that fund for 20 years, and it's now substantial enough that they're able to buy quite a significant area of land to offset the effects of that intensification.
Why do you think that it was important that the money was used in this way?
In this case, the thing about the fund is that it's taken to offset the effects of intensification locally. So this is not a fund that's built up for the whole city and can be used anywhere in the city. It's a localised thing. So, for example, the intensification that's occurred in the Mount infill area, which is, you might call the downtown, the Mount, or in Mount North. That's separate from the fund that's been created for Papamoa or other growth areas, whether they be in Tauranga itself or wherever. So that money is only for use in this area. It's not discretionary. It's been targeted and taken for Mount North. And one of the things about it is generally councils charge a percentage of land value. This council doesn't anymore, but historically that's what happened. And the idea is that you take a percentage of the land value because you have to go and buy land in that market. So for example, if you're taking a percentage of land value for beachfront property in the Mount, it's not appropriate to then go and buy land in the foot of the Kaimais, which is much cheaper, and vice versa. So it needs to be applied locally for more than one reason.
Does Coronation Park not suffice?
Again, this is kind of a special case. There is an argument that the council have reached the level of service for open spaces in Mount Maunganui, and that's an argument that people will happily run. Again, it's important to know that the council have built this fund for 20 years. They haven't bought any more land in 20 years. So there's been a lot of intensification and no more land. So that, in effect, means that the amenity has decreased. So there's a lot more people living not just in the Mount but in Tauranga in the area, and no more open spaces. So the amenity is less now than it was 20 years ago. Coronation Park's a nice green area. It's not used at all. If this fund isn't used, the money actually doesn't get to be used for something else. It actually has to be given back to the people who paid it, to the developers. So the council doesn't have an option to re-tag this money. They have to go and use it for reserves, either for new reserves or to develop other local reserves. So they're kind of, this isn't a matter of, let's do something else.
If you'd like to find out more about the decision, you can visit the council website, tauranga.gov.nz. That is Central News for today. If you have something you want to share with us, you can email us or like us on Facebook. We would love to hear from you. I will be back tomorrow night with more guests from the Waikato and the Bay. I'm Hilary Entwistle. Have a lovely evening.
This has been an Alpha Media production, a division of Television Media Group.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.